Hi YouTube! In this video I want to show you a very nice mid-range phone. This is the Xiaomi Mi4i. I got it from Honorbuy. It was delivered from their European warehouse. It got here in no time, and of course there were no worries about customs at all. Like always, it comes in a very plain cardboard box like this one with some specs on the back that are correct. It comes with a 2000 mAh USB wall charger. Honorbuy also included a plug adapter for me. Of course, it also comes with a micro USB data and charging cable. It comes with some paperwork and also a SIM tray opener. And last but not least, they also included a silicon bumper, but I really don't know if this bumper is always included. This phone has a 5-inch sharp JDI capacitive 10-point multi-touchscreen with a 1080 by 1920 Full HD pixel resolution. It is an IPS display, it is a one-glass solution and is protected by a Gorilla Glass. It has the so-called sunlight display feature, meaning that it can adjust the contrast of the display according to the light conditions. It has a second generation Qualcomm Snapdragon 615 64-bit Octa-Core CPU inside. It has 4 cores that are clocked at 1.7 GHz and 4 cores that are clocked at 1.1 GHz. It has 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of internal memory, but unfortunately no TF card support. It runs on Android 5.02 Lollipop with MiUi V6 on top. It is a Quadband, it is totally unlocked, and it supports 3G and 4G in either one of the SIM slots. It has a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, AGPS. It also supports GLONASS and Baidu. It has a G sensor, a proximity sensor, a light sensor, a magnetic field sensor, a gyroscope sensor, a Hall sensor, and it also has a very nice multicolor notification LED. It supports USB on the go, it supports firmware updates over the air, it has a built-in 3120 mAh battery. It has 2 cameras, one main camera with a 13 megapixel output, autofocus, it has dual LED, dual color flash, and it's an f2.0, and one front-facing camera with a 5 megapixel output and it's a f1.8. And of course this phone is a dual SIM, dual standby phone. It takes 2 micro SIM cards. It weighs about 126 grams and it's about 7.7 millimeters thick. Let's take a closer look at the phone. We have the front-facing camera right here, proximity and light sensor hidden somewhere, and we also have the notification LED right here. The home, back and menu buttons are capacitive touch buttons and they do light up. On the bottom we have the micro USB port and a microphone. On the left we can see it has the SIM tray right here that holds 2 micro SIM cards. On the top we have a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right side we have the power button and a volume rocker. On the back we have the main camera, the dual LED flash and a secondary noise reduction microphone, a Mi logo and the media speaker, and the back cover has some sort of matte finish and it has an anti-grease coating so it won't attract any fingerprints. Like always, I installed additional apps and games for demonstration purposes. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment sections below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs down, but please be so fair to leave a comment to let me know what I can do better next time. If you'd like to find out more, please stay tuned. The stock launcher, being MiUi V6, is pretty smooth, but I have to say that it also can be a little bit laggy sometimes. If you don't like the MiUi launcher, of course you can always install different launchers, but let's start by going into the settings. Let's check out about the phone. Right here we can see that it's running on Android 5.02 and MiUi V6. Now I'm not gonna go through all these settings, they are not very interesting. Let me just check out some additional settings. Right here we can find colors and contrast, and right here we have the automatic contrast feature, which is needed for the sunlight display, and we can also change the colors from warm to standard or cool, whatever you like best. Let's check out the languages and input. Let's see which languages are supported. Right now on this firmware there are not many languages, but maybe you can install different custom ROMs pretty soon. Let's go back. What else do we have here? We have a one-handed operation mode, so we can simulate a 4-inch display or a 3.5-inch display. Now all you have to do is you have to swipe from left to right or right to left over the home button, and you can see that the position will change, and when we swipe back it will go back into the full screen mode. Let's see what else do we have in the additional settings. We have some battery settings right here. We can choose between some power modes between performance or a balanced power mode if you want to save some battery juice. We also have the notification light settings right here, so we can assign different colors, and it also supports mixed colors like blue, red, yellow, cyan, green, white and violet. So the notification LED gives you a lot of colors. I think that should cover the settings. Let's start with some Google apps. Of course the Play Store comes pre-installed and is working just fine, so no problem here. Let's check out some more Google apps. Let's see, let's go into Google Maps. It knows where I live, so the Google location services are working. Let's check out a street view. Let's hope I can find an address that is covered. Let's check it out. Here we have it. This is street view. We can do some zooming, no problem at all. And we can also switch into the compass mode, so this tells us that a magnetic field sensor is working and also a gyroscope sensor is here. You can tell if the scrolling is as smooth as you just saw. Let's go back and let's check out YouTube. I have to turn down the volume for YouTube. It is loading. Let's just play a random video. Let me go into the settings and check out the quality, and as we can see it can play back videos up to 1080p, and of course we can also watch in full screen, and YouTube is running very smoothly, so YouTube is a real pleasure. Let's go back. What else do we have here? Again, the Google apps. No, I think the Google apps are pretty much covered. Now let's check out some benchmarks, etc. Let's see what Antutu has to say. It is initializing, it always takes a minute. Come on, we don't have all day. Let's go into my history and let's see what score we have. I'd scored pretty close to 40,000 points. This is not a world record, but it's pretty good, nice score. Let's check out some information right here. We can see again Android 502, 64-bit, Qualcomm Snapdragon, Full HD resolution. Let's go to the display settings and let's check out the multi-touch. And I don't know if I can get 10 fingers on here, but I can assure you this is a 10-point multi-touch screen. 9, 10, come on, show me 10. I guess you just have to trust me on this one. It is definitely a 10-point multi-touch screen. Let's scroll all the way down to check out some of these sensors. Now here we have them, but of course we're gonna test some of those sensors as well. Let's get out of there. Let's go into the Android sensor box. And let's go back. We have the accelerometer, also known as the G sensor. We have a light sensor, and let's give that a try. And it's working great. Let's go back and check out the orientation sensor. We have a proximity sensor. We also have a gyroscope sensor, but I'm going to show you that with a different app in a second. We have a sound sensor. Of course we have the main microphone, and we also have a secondary noise reduction microphone that is working. And we also have a magnetic field sensor, but again I'm going to show you that in a different app. Let's get out of there. Let's see, what can I show you next? Let's check out Ninamark. I'm not going to run it, I'm just going to tell you the score. Now on my last run it scored at 60 frames per second, which is pretty cool. Now I talked about the gyroscope sensor. Let me show you a live wallpaper that only works with a gyroscope sensor, and as you can see it is working great. And we can also check out the compass again. Let me go into tools and let's check out the system compass app. And I think this is one of the coolest compass apps ever. Well, it'll show you some real-time pictures right here, and if you tilt the phone it will show you the degrees right there. And we can also do something like this to see if something is leveled. Let me see if I can get this leveled out. No, not a chance. And we can also test something like this. So the Compass app is really cool. Let's see what else do we have here. Let's check out some more benchmarks. Let me clear some memory and let me just run Quadron standard. And let's run a full benchmark and let me do a jump cut. Almost done. And the score is 21,489 points. Let's get out of there. Let's check out the CPU-Z. Right here we can see that it's running on 8 cores and it's the Qualcomm Snapdragon. And let's go into the sensors again. And right here we have a bunch of sensors, but I told you about the sensors already. Let's get out of there. Let's check out the Wi-Fi signal strength. Now, to give you an idea how good or bad it is, we have to compare it to a different phone. So let me just compare it to my Xiaomi Mi 4. And I've tested it several times. Now those reception strengths are pretty much identical, so they are very good. Let's get out of there. What else do we have here? Now let's check out some system apps. For example, the weather app is very cool. You can scroll up and down and it will tell you the sunrise and sundown and stuff like that. I really like this system app. Let's check out some more system apps. Let's go into tools. Now you can manage your Mi account right here. We also have an updater feature right here. Now right here you can do firmware updates over the air, but you can also boot into the recovery mode if you want to do manual updates. We also have a clock, of course, and we can change it like this. And this is the alarm, and this is how the clock looks like. We have a stopwatch, and of course we also have a timer. The compass I already showed you. We also have a built-in FM radio. I don't have my earphones connected, but this is how it looks like. And we also have a calculator. We can change between a regular calculator and a scientific calculator. So those are the typical MiUi V6 system apps. Let's go into the gallery. Let's go to offline and load some wallpapers. Let me just flick through some of those pictures. Of course, we can also watch them in full screen. And I don't know if you can see this, but the colors and brightness are fantastic. Now this is definitely one of the best displays I've ever seen. We can also test some videos. Let me go into my test videos. Let's try a 4K video. It is loading, but it's not showing any thumbnails. And the 4K video is actually playing, but it's not very smooth. So 4K might be a little too much, but of course we can go back and check out a 1080p video. And a 10p video is running absolutely smoothly. I mean, that is no surprise at all. So 1080p I would say is the limit for the standard video player. What else can I show you? Let me go into the camera. The camera is pretty simple, but you can take really cool pictures with it. You have some filters right here, and we can change some modes right here. We have a panorama, a timer. What I really find very cool is the refocus mode. I mean, you can take some pictures, and then after you took the picture you can change the focus point. So the camera is really cool but simple. If you like more features, I suggest you install a different camera app. And one of the biggest highlights, of course, of MiUi is that it's highly customizable. So we can change some themes right here. You can download entire themes, but we can also just go into customize and we can change pretty much every single thing on the launcher. For example, let's just change the icons. We can download plenty of items. We have some top charge, but let me go into my offline icons. Those are some icons that I downloaded already. Let's just apply some new icons. It's taking a while and the launcher will have to restart after I exit. Let's get out of there and let's see how the new icons look like. Now the launcher is restarting and there we have it. Now the launcher has a whole new style. We still have our folders right here. Let's check out the music player. Now the music player I really like a lot. It looks really cool. And let me just play a song right here to give you an idea how the speaker sounds like. Now in my opinion the media speaker sounds very good. Let's see, what else can we test? Of course we can also test a USB on the go. Let me try to hook up a USB thumb drive. Do I have it the right way? Let's see if I can get it in there. Let's go into the file explorer. It will take a second to mount and there you have it, the USB stick just mounted. So this is USB on the go and it's working just fine. Now let me tell you what I'm thinking about this phone. Some thoughts about this phone. The build quality is very good. It feels solid, it doesn't feel cheap at all. The design of course is a question of your own personal taste. For me it's a little too plain. I like my phones a little fancier, but of course that's just my opinion. The display is very good. In my opinion it is one of the best, if not the best displays I've ever seen. The colors, contrast, brightness and viewing angles are great and the sunlight display is a really cool feature. The performance is good, it's not breaking any world records, but a 40K score on Antutu is definitely a decent score nowadays. It should be able to handle pretty much everything you throw at it. The Wi-Fi reception is very good, it's just like my Mi 4. The GSM 3G and 4G reception and also the call sound quality is good, nothing to complain about. The GPS is very good. It is fast, it is accurate, the reception strength is good and thanks to GLONASS support it is very stable. The media speaker is quite impressive, maybe not the best I've ever heard, but I was pleasantly surprised. It even produces a little bass which you don't hear every day on a cell phone nowadays. Another highlight for me is the sound quality through headphones. In my opinion it is excellent. Especially in combination with some Xiaomi piston earphones. You may have to do a little fine tuning with the equalizer, but then I will guarantee you it will blow your mind. I usually don't say anything about the camera picture quality because that is always in the eye of the beholder. But in this case I feel confident to say that this phone really takes pretty good pictures. I have some sample pictures on my blog, there is a link in the video's description, please make sure to check them out. The LED flash is very usable, I mean it's a dual flash, dual color, I really like it. So far I haven't noticed this phone overheating. I think this problem has been resolved through some firmware updates, but I do believe that the firmware still needs some improvements. MiUi can be a bit laggy sometimes. Some obvious cons of course are the built-in battery and no memory card extension, and I think it's really sad that this phone does not support LTE band 20. Bottom line, I really like this phone a lot. You have to hand it to Xiaomi, they really know how to make great phones at great prices. Will it replace my Mi 4? No, I still like my Mi 4 a little better. Last but not least, let me try to show you the sunlight display feature, the viewing angles and do a little gaming. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you next time.